same thing gonna happen with Spence. They're gonna figure out some type of excuse why Terence Crawford was successful in the Canelo Alvarez fight.
When the stakes are at their highest, preparation reaches a level few can comprehend. Terence Crawford's early training camp before facing Canelo Alvarez isn't just intense, it's all-consuming. It's a war before the war, where every moment, movement, and breath is measured with precision. Today, we step inside that world, not with hype, but with raw, honest insight into the grind shaping one of the sport's most dangerous fighters.
Listen, this is the one. You know, like I said, God don't make no mistakes. It's the reason why he waited all this time to put me on this stage with another all-time great like Canelo, with 2 Hall of Famers going head-to-head, you know, and one of the biggest events in the last 20 years. I'm looking forward to it.
The transition from being a training ground to a weapon starts as soon as camp begins. The body is forged to endure punishment, deliver power, and react with unrelenting speed. Pain becomes routine as long days and grueling sessions blur together, demanding total physical and mental adaptation. When exhaustion sets in and instinct takes over, every system is pushed to its breaking point in order to create a fighter who can go farther, harder, and longer. Furthermore, there is no mercy within the training camp. Every session strains the body in order to strengthen it. Every component is put to the test under constant strain, including strength, speed, and endurance. Doubt and fatigue are frequent threats in this emotionally and physically taxing war, but Crawford perseveres because he knows that today's suffering will become tomorrow's armor. Each drill and round is about becoming not just ready, but also resilient, strong, and in control. There is no room for mediocrity here. Moreover, Crawford is training with a purpose behind every movement. His timing, rhythm, footwork, and control are all practiced until they come naturally to him. Each step in the ring is laden with intent, prepared to strike or defend in a split second, making balance fundamental. The edge, the distinction between getting hit or landing cleanly, which is precision. This is a machine designed to operate flawlessly under duress and not falter when everything is on the line. It's not just athleticism. Most notably, Crawford is training closely with his team, each session focused on a clear strategy to dismantle Canelo. Their goals are to keep him fresh throughout the fight, control the pace, and irritate him early, engaging strategically, slowing down Canelo, and then using all of your strength to take control in the later rounds is the aim. Nothing is being missed in this thorough preparation. Every area is being addressed. Crawford is surrounded by a driven group of people that inspire him every day in camp.
We know the type of fighter Canelo is. So, as a fighter, you mentally prepare for things like that, and then as a trainer, just making sure he's sharp. His mental game is sharp. His physical game is sharp. You know, strength-wise, you know, nutrition is everything. Got to, like I said, hitting on all cylinders. So by the time he step in that ring, it's easy picking.
Moving forward, he is transforming repetition into accuracy on the heavy bag. Every blow is contemplated, testing striking force, foot placement, and angle. The bag has become a tool for mental focus, rhythm, and endurance, rather than just a target. Hours of pounding build not just strength, but fight-specific conditioning. He drills combinations until they're second nature, built to flow under pressure. In this space, raw power is refined into championship skill.
Good jab. There we go. No matter what his name is. Yeah. There we go. There we go. Power. 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 There we go. That's right. Power. There we go.
Additionally, inside training camp, Crawford's abilities are also ultimately tested when he spars with strong opponents. Every practice replicates the unpredictable, physical, and harsh nature of a genuine battle. Under actual pressure, timing, defense, and counters are all refined. He learns from every interaction as he takes in, adjusts, and attacks. The goal of these rounds is to evolve, not to win. This fire is what really shapes fight night preparation. So based on this intense camp, don't be surprised if Crawford puts Canelo in real trouble on September 13th. His confidence will be sky high, built not on talk but on relentless preparation. You can only truly believe if you've done the work, which he has done. He's sharpening every weapon with purpose, ready to meet power with precision. Against Canelo, the face of boxing, Crawford is gearing up to deliver a dominant performance. As we talk about the pros' latest thoughts and predictions on this fight. First of all, Bomac, Crawford's trainer, thinks his man has a distinct mental advantage against Canelo going into this momentous battle. He underlined that he is training to win, not just to fight. According to Bomac, the desire to conquer is deeply embedded in his mindset, and that hunger could be the deciding factor on fight night. With dominant performances in his recent bouts, Crawford's confidence is sky high. He'll be stepping into the ring not just to survive, but to secure a comprehensive and career-defining victory over Canelo.
Front of his head to the back of his head, in between, this I'm winning. I'm gonna do whatever I need to do to win. That's the difference. That's the difference.
So you feel like more than anything he has a mental edge over Canelo?
You could possibly say that.
Yeah.
Possibly say that, you know? Has he lost? You see Canelo go down the stretch and
Furthermore, Antonio Tarver was candid in his assessment of this mega bout. Tarver described Crawford as a genuine threat in this fight, praising his intense energy, exceptional skill set, and growing confidence. Even against a larger opponent like Canelo, he thinks he is particularly dangerous due to his mentality and momentum. In a shot at Canelo, he implied that the Mexican champion has been too at ease in prior bouts, and that he will have him work harder than ever before. All things considered, Tarver conveyed a strong conviction that Crawford would be able to step up and have an exceptional performance.
I've been telling y'all for the longest, that boy got that energy. And you know what energy I'm talking about. What is that? Tarver energy.
Yes, sir.
Tarver. He got that. And so you know, when you get that, we don't see nobody, bro. Now he in there with a dog, Canelo. Now, the Canelo footwork ain't been what it's supposed to be lately. And he hasn't fought a real threat in a long time. Now, sometimes we can get so comfortable in that zone. But now you got to go down deep to get ready for Crawford. You feel me?
Moreover, recently, Max Kellerman also weighed in on this fight, offering a breakdown of what each fighter brings to the table. He declared that Crawford had a number of significant tactical advantages, including his quickness, deft defensive play, and demonstrated capacity to withstand pressure. Kellerman also argued that Crawford is a dangerous opponent for anybody, even a heavyweight like him, because of his ring IQ and versatility. However, he also acknowledged that Canelo's significant size advantage could play a major role, especially in terms of punching power and physical presence in the ring. Ultimately, Kellerman believes the outcome may hinge on whether Crawford's tactical edge can outlast Canelo's raw strength.
Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring, but early in his career he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power. Canelo also has a great chin. But in terms of, if you want to go skill for skill, especially the recent version of Canelo, who's had to turn into a seek and destroy guy.
Unlike Antonio Tarver, the veteran trainer Abel Sanchez has thrown his support behind Canelo, suggesting that Crawford's speed and skills will only be effective in the early rounds. Sanchez predicted that Canelo would find his rhythm and start to enforce his will after 4 or 5 rounds. He stressed that his enormous upper body and unadulterated power make him extremely difficult to deal with, even though he acknowledged the Mexican superstar's lack of foot movement. Sanchez anticipated that in the second half of the bout, Canelo would begin to land powerful, devastating blows that would eventually wear him down. He believes the fight will start to go in Canelo's favor once he overcomes the early storm.
Getting the speed and the talent will show in the fight. I think Canelo will lose 3 or 4 rounds at the beginning, but then once he starts pounding on him, as it's been for the last 6-7 fights of Canelo, after the 6th or 7th round, it's a sparring session for him. He's just throwing bombs away and not caring about what they do to him. But he's got excellent defense. Unfortunately, his feet don't move as well as I would like for him to move them, but his upper body is just unbelievable. He slips punches very well. He's got great hands. He parries very well, and he lands big shots. He may not land as many, but he lands big shots that hurt.
In addition, Shane Mosley offered a more cautious take on Crawford's chances, pointing out the significant challenge he faces against Canelo. Mosley underlined that Canelo is a beast in the ring, even if he recognized Crawford's deft movement, strong defense, and astute strategies. Although Crawford has seemed impressive at 154 pounds, he pointed out that it is a significant leap to go up to 168 pounds, particularly when facing an opponent as strong and experienced as Canelo. Mosley was worried that Crawford would experience serious issues as a result of the weight disparity. He believes that during the course of the bout, Canelo's physicality and hitting power might be too much to bear.
He wants to fight. He's gonna move a little bit, but his heart is not in moving. So he's gonna have to sit there and fight with Canelo. And if you sit there and fight with Canelo, and he's that much bigger than you, then I don't know. But everybody think, Crawford, he's a great boxer, he's this, he's that, which he is. He's a great fighter. And I think he's a great fighter at 140, 47. And he seems just to be, good at 54. Now we're going to 68.
Now let's have a look at Canelo's preparations too. Canelo Alvarez is no stranger to pressure, and he's treating this upcoming bout with Terence Crawford with the seriousness it demands. Deep in training camp, Canelo is pushing himself hard, knowing exactly what level of opponent he's preparing for. Crawford is a clever, cunning, and extremely talented fighter with the means to cause serious trouble. He is more than just a name. Knowing this, Canelo is adjusting every aspect of his training to take on that task. With months to go until fight night, Canelo is already immersed in rigorous training sessions, honing his timing, strength, and tactics.
Canelo, you just spoke with this last interviewer about how big this match was and how long you've been thinking about this. Where does this rank and how long has this been on your mind?
No long time ago. So I never imagined fighting Crawford. But you know, you can see how big is this fight. So I'm glad to be involved in these big fights. And you know, Crawford is one of the best fighters in the last decade. And I'm glad to be.
Furthermore, he's been here before, but this feels different. This is about legacy, not preserving a title. Crawford's exceptional footwork, high fight IQ, and deceptive power make him a unique threat, as Canelo is aware. It involves solving a riddle in real time, not just slinging punches. That's why Canelo is leaving no room for error. His strength and conditioning are being tested daily, and his sparring partners are chosen carefully to mimic Crawford's style and rhythm.
5 segundos. Tiempo, Saúl. Una vueltita. Sacando el pecho, Saúl, y la muñeca, agárralo bien. Eso. Rápido, rápido, Saúlitos. Easy for you. Easy for you. Gracias. 30 segundos.
Most notably, every day in camp, Canelo is studying, refining, and evolving. He knows that critics and fans are predicting this to be one of the most hyped fights ever in modern boxing history, and that only makes him more motivated. The stakes are massive and the spotlight will be brighter than ever, but he has built his name on moments like this.
Sí. Me debe chauzo por el Saúl. Chauzo por ese nomás me faltó, ¿va, güey? El chauzo por.
Overall, he's preparing not just to compete, but to dominate. This fight is about demonstrating that he is still the best boxer and the face of the sport. Because he is prepared for war and is aware of what is imminent, Canelo is training with purpose, urgency, and intensity. As we delve more, this clash promises to be an unforgettable battle between two modern boxing greats. Canelo, a 4-division champion with devastating power and elite ring control, has dominated the super middleweight scene. Crawford, an undefeated 3-division king, brings unmatched speed, precision, and tactical brilliance. With legacy on the line, their contrasting styles and elite pedigrees make this a true showdown of champions. In short, the boxing world is buzzing after the release of intense training footage from both fighters. Fans are not only impressed by their physical preparation, but also shocked by the focused, no-nonsense mindsets each fighter has displayed. Canelo seems composed, self-assured, and prepared to rule as usual, while Crawford seems piercingly sharp and eager to shock the world. The community is divided. Some think Canelo will just do what he does well, while others are cheering for Crawford to silence the detractors and overthrow the behemoth. In the end, will Crawford's slick footwork, speed, and counterpunching be enough to neutralize Canelo's raw power and body shots? Or will Canelo's experience at higher weight classes prove too much for the welterweight king? This is a true clash of styles, and we want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments. Who wins and how? Don't forget to like and subscribe for the latest fight updates and breakdowns.